Hi guys, my name's Francesco and I recently graduated from Boston University with my master's in finance. In this channel, I'll be covering everything finance and investing. So make sure to like this video and also comment if you have any future video suggestions that you want me to cover. I specify in everything finance, so I'll probably be able to answer any questions you have or any comments. So make sure to leave them down in the comments section and let's get going on what an ETF is. So what's an ETF? An ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund, and this type of security often involves a collection or basket of different securities that often tracks an underlying index such as the S&P 500. ETFs can be looked at in similar ways to mutual funds. However, they are listed on exchanges and trade just as ordinary stock throughout the day. They also charge a much cheaper fee than mutual funds and are often, you will hear the terms fractional costs associated with ETFs. The top reason for choosing an ETF over a stock is instant diversification. For example, purchasing an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 gives you exposure to 505 large cap US stocks, representing approximately 80% of the market value of the US stock market. Often synonyms with the market, in the US, the S&P 500 is the most closest thing you could get to a US default stock index. An ETF can guard against volatility up to a certain point if one of the stocks within the ETF fall. This removal of company-specific risk is the biggest advantage for ETF investors. The ETF market is already seeing a growth rate of 25% per year. That will bring the total market value to $5.3 trillion in assets in the year 2020, according to a Bank of America study. Over the last decade, total assets in ETFs ballooned from $707 billion to $4.3 trillion. The ETF market has been growing in popularity in the recent years due to its low cost and efficiency to investors. When buying ETFs or stocks, it's important to note that you're not buying a lottery ticket. You're becoming a part owner in a real operating business. There are nearly 6,800 ETFs available globally and have been available on the financial markets since the early 1990s. In Canada alone, there are 33 different ETF company providers, and that increases by 5 providers per year. Because of ETF market efficiency and performance, it has grown in popularity, and many money managers are using these assets to invest in different industries and sectors worldwide. The two companies for ETFs I like to focus on are Vanguard and iShares. I particularly like these two companies because they charge the lowest management fees and have been around for the longest time. I often preach to people not to get lost in the ETF market because there's so many options that you can choose from, and you have to be very focused on about 1 to 2 different companies that offer ETFs, because ultimately you'll get very lost and very confused when searching for your ETF investments. So some of the key takeaways for ETFs here is ETFs are growing in popularity because they've provided good performance to investors at a low cost. Also, ETFs are available for purchase directly on the exchanges, just as ordinary stock. Another benefit and key point of ETFs is there's no company-specific risk. So you buy an ETF and you own a bunch of different companies. So if one company in that ETF were to do bad, it won't affect your overall performance of that ETF. So to wrap things up on the ETF lesson, what we could distinguish here is that ETFs are very efficient to investors, and they also provide such a low-cost investment product, which ultimately benefits us, and we should take advantage of assets like this, but we should also do our due diligence on those different type of investments or ETFs that we choose to invest in with our own money. So that's my take on ETFs, and I hope this video was helpful in providing you a little bit of insight and a little bit more of an explanation and painted the picture of what an ETF is for you. But ultimately, ETFs are very good investments because they are diversified and also very easy for us to purchase as investors. But always remember, guys, invest in what you believe in and what you understand. Thanks again for watching.